Aleister Crowley, one of the most infamous occultists in history, spent his final days in obscurity, addiction, and financial ruin. Once revered and feared as the Great B666, the self-proclaimed magician, poet, and prophet of Thelema ended his life in a way that contrasts sharply with his grandiose image. His death on December 1st, 1947, in a boarding house in Hastings, England, remains shrouded in eerie speculation, with some even claiming his last breath carried a curse. Born in 1875, Crowley grew up in a strict religious household but rejected Christianity in favor of occultism, magic, and mysticism. He became a leading figure in the Hermetic Order, the Golden Dawn, and later founded his own esoteric philosophy, known as Thelema, declaring himself a prophet of the New Age. His motto, "Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law," became legendary, drawing both followers and critics. Crowley's life was filled with scandal, drug use, sexual rituals, and claims of contacting supernatural entities. He traveled the world, engaging in occult experiments, writing mystical texts, and influencing secret societies. However, by the time he reached his final years, he had lost most of his followers, his wealth, and his health. In the 1940s, Crowley's health rapidly declined due to his lifelong abuse of heroin, cocaine, opium, and morphine. Initially, he had used heroin as an asthma treatment, but it soon led to full-blown addiction. With no money and few allies, he spent his last years living in a boarding house called Netherwood in Hastings, East Sussex. Netherwood was owned by a sympathetic couple, Kenneth and Louisa Grant, who allowed Crowley to stay despite his reputation. While there, he continued to write, conduct small rituals, and give occasional readings, but the powerful feared Crowley was now a frail, sickly man dependent on charity. Eyewitnesses reported that Crowley remained arrogant and sharp-tongued, mocking doctors and priests alike. However, some claim that in his last moments, he expressed regret over his failed prophecies and the state of his followers. On December 1st, 1947, Crowley died of chronic bronchitis and heart failure, likely worsened by his heroin addiction. His personal physician, Dr. W.R.D. Collins, had refused to prescribe him more morphine, believing the occultist was abusing it. Just hours before his death, Crowley reportedly cursed the doctor, wishing upon him a slow, painful demise. Strangely, Dr. Collins died suddenly the very next day, fueling speculation that Crowley's final act was one last deadly spell. Crowley's funeral took place at Brighton Crematorium on December 5, 1947. Only a few close followers attended, including his last disciple, Lewis Wilkinson, who read Crowley's infamous hymn to Pan. The poem, filled with pagan imagery and dark invocations, caused an uproar. One newspaper called it a black magic ritual. The funeral was condemned as satanic by the press and the local church, and some even claimed that strange occurrences took place around the crematorium afterward. Even in death, Crowley's influence did not fade. His teachings on magic, Thelema, and mysticism spread across generations, influencing famous figures like Led Zeppelin's Jimmy Page and David Bowie. But eerie legends also persist. Some claim Crowley's spirit still haunts Netherwood, and visitors have reported sudden cold chills, whispers, and shadowy figures. Others believe his curse on Dr. Collins was proof that his magic was real, even in death. Though Crowley left this world alone and in pain, his legacy of darkness and mysticism endures. His name still whispered in occult circles, his rituals still practiced, and his influence on horror and mystery still powerful.